welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Desert Brutality 2020, Stage 3, Riot Control. Alright, Stage 3 was actually my first stage of the day on the first day of Desert Brutality 2020. And what was the thing that was happening first thing in the morning? It was bitterly cold, like low 20s bitterly cold, which was really weird because we had, the guys with me and everything, had rented a house up south side of Prescott. And when we got up in the morning, it was in the mid-30s. So, hey, you know, who knew that you'd drop 3,000 feet, but the temperature would also drop 15 degrees. I mean, who would expect that? So it was ridiculously freaking cold during this, and that came into play. Turns out I was the first shooter on the stage to go, and I decided with the firearms I was using, FNFAL rifle, Browning high power for the pistol, that I was going to go without my gloves. And in retrospect, that probably wasn't the best decision in the world. So what you had to do on the stage is you started out with a riot shield. Yeah, riot shield. And then you had to shoot using the riot shield, and you had 5 poppers you had to hit, and you had to hold the shield in front of you, reach around it, and aim through the viewing port and get your hits. And let's be honest, unless you're on a major metropolitan SWAT team, this is not a skill you're practicing all the time. And this is the kind of stuff that makes Desert Brutality awesome, because they're going to throw something at you that you just can't prepare and train for. You know, last stage you saw the Casarda drill, and yeah, you can train for that. Go to Dick's, buy yourself a kettlebell, go out to your backyard and start chucking the thing. You can practice for it. You know, just like a physical fitness test, you can practice for it. But, you know, training with a riot shield, nah, that's not something you expect to come up. And that proved quite a challenge. You had to get 5 hits on 5 poppers. I managed to do it in 1 magazine, which in a Browning high power is 13 rounds. And once you did that, you went ahead and discarded your pistol and discarded the shield. And now the shield was a replica, it was not an actual ballistic shield, but they were very adamant that you could not damage, you could not throw it. You had to put it down in a safe manner and then move out to the rifle portion of the stage. Now on the rifle portion, it was deceptively simple. There were 4 big tractor trailer tires out on the shooting bay, and you moved from one to another, and you had to get, you had 2 targets downrange, and you had to get 2 hits on each. Just that simple. Or at least that's deceptively how it sounds, simple. So you go to the first one. The rule was the weapon or your hand had to be in touch with the tire. So I went nice and prone, got the magazine, or I shouldn't say prone, but nice and low, got my magazine down onto the tire, got my 2 hits on the left target, 2 on the right, and then moved over to the next tire. Now that tire was standing up, and you had to shoot through the center of it. And your muzzle could not protrude through the tire. And this was for a specific reason. It forced you to maneuver to be able to see the targets and have a good position. So you did that for the second tire, you did that for the third tire, and you ended up about 50 yards from the 2 targets with 2 stacked tires. And then the same rule applied on the first tire. Either your hand or your weapon had to be in contact with the tire. We went ahead and got that done, and I did the stage in about 149 seconds. So overall, not a bad run. A lot of people timed out on this stage on my squad. And the one thing I learned from this stage was I am willing to bet in that bitter low 20s cold that, you know, on a bright sunny spring day, temperatures in the mid 70s and just all around beautiful day that you want to be outside, I bet you could shave 30 seconds off that time. Not only was the cold affecting the ability to make pistol shots of a type that you never tried before, but just manipulating the weapon was very cold because fine motor skills were gone. You know, it was gross. I know I missed a lot of shots just because I'd end up jerking the trigger because I'd be going for the low, slow, steady squeeze, and then just feel like nothing's happened. Then I jerk the trigger, and of course you jerk your trigger, you miss. So I really feel this one, the weather had something to do with it, and you know, that's brutality. That's part of it. They don't take that into account. Another thing that was a factor is when you started off on the pistol section, aiming in through the shield at these things, it didn't affect me because I was the first shooter, but later shooters, the sun came up over the berm, and the sun was directly above the targets. This, you know, for later shooters, this was a problem because you're squinting into the sun, trying to see your pistol sights and see the target, all while looking through this little window in a shield. Very challenging to say the least. And it's one of the reasons I believe that, you know, he shot this in springtime, scores would be faster, or times would be faster. The cold was a real factor here. Now I have to go ahead and apologize. The cold was such a factor. It killed all the cameras that I had on this stage. So I was running an aim cam, cold killed it. It was on, it turned on, but pretty much about 3 seconds after the buzzer, it just cut out. And the only video I got was the inside of the shield, so it's nothing worth showing to you. Also, my friend who was doing the videotaping, he tried, and just the camera just wouldn't turn on. It was that cold. So no video on this stage. The good news is, please stay tuned. When I cover this stage again on Armored Plus P, we got some cameras to work there, and we do have some decent videos, so you'll get to see what this stage looks like. So please stay tuned for future stages. We hope you found this edition of Pegasus Test helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for Stage 4 of Desert Brutality 2020 Retro Heavy Division.